Hello and welcome to my Module 1 slideshow presentation. My name is Charlene Smith. I'm a family and consumer science teacher at Manheim Township High School. I teach basic and advanced nutrition and child development. I'm currently teaching those classes as STEM credits, so that is one of the reasons that I'm pursuing this STEM endorsement. In my free time, I like to run. I coach both track and cross country. I enjoy hiking and biking, cooking and eating. I plan most of my travel around the food that I want to eat. I like watching football and spending time with my husband and my 3-year-old son, so we do a lot outside together. How do I incorporate STEM into my classroom? I like to show the interdisciplinary connections between science classes and what they do in my course. We tie in math, we tie in technology, so it's a really good way for them to see how everything's connected. It provides a different approach. They get to see science in a hands-on way and then even eat the product of their experiments. And I provide opportunities for them to create their own research projects. My goals for the course are to learn more about STEM education, further integrate STEM concepts into my own curriculum, support other subject areas, and to become a part of the greater STEM community. When comparing the 7 strategies of assessment for learning versus the 6 parts of assessment for learning, I thought there were a lot of similarities. Both provide learning targets, objectives, and goals. Both provide strong and weak models, explain the common problems, provide feedback. Ownership of the learning is put on the student, and they're taught to self-regulate. A feedback loop is used, scaffolding techniques are used, and there's some sort of presentation to reinforce learning at the end. There were also several differences. In 6 parts of assessment as learning, they started with an individual report, then discussed it with the group, and then the teacher was involved, and then the group was involved again. In the 7 strategies for assessment for learning, it was mostly just the teacher was involved, and then the group was involved. In 6 parts of assessment as learning, the assessment was hands-on. In the 7 strategies of assessment, it could be hands-on, but didn't necessarily have to be hands-on. Common problems were addressed at the end of the experiment or the assessment in 6 parts of assessment versus at the beginning in 7 strategies. And in 6 parts, the presentation was oral at the end of the presentation. And in 7 strategies, it talks about sharing the information but didn't say whether or not that had to be an oral report. My personal philosophy best matches with the 7 strategies of assessment for learning. I try to start my lessons by sharing my objectives and goals. I share common problems and mistakes before starting the project or assessment. I provide feedback and have students self-assess and even group assess. I continuously provide feedback to allow them to improve their lab report or assessment so they can continue learning and improving. I try to scaffold my projects, kind of tackling one piece of the lab report at a time until they've mastered that, and then we move on to the next. And I provide time for student reflection, usually by using our Schoology page, and then I use a discussion post for that. I look forward to learning from you all this semester. Thanks.